Happy Thursday, everyone. It's Pam with Perfectly Holistic. I am so excited to be back with you guys and do some live energy testing on 5 lucky kitties tonight. And I know you can't see him, but I've got a cat sitting right behind me in my chair. And you know how they don't even want to move? So I'm like sitting on the very, very edge. Are you going to get up now? Do you want to say hi? Yeah, he's going to say hi. Here we go. Say hi, Gun Gun. Say hi, buddy. Hi, everybody. Mama interrupted your nap. Yeah, why don't you just sit with me? Just hang out. So, anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Stephanie. Um, we'll give people just a couple minutes to hop on. So, if you're watching tonight, drop a little comment in here. I love to say hi to everybody and just know kind of where you're tuning in from. We have people that watch us from all over the place. So, that's kind of fun. We've got 5 kitties on the docket tonight, which is kind of fun. And they all have different things going on. So it's going to be real interesting to see what resonates. If you've never tuned in before, to check out muscle testing or energy testing, as we call it when it's remote. I use a pendulum, so I'm not actually using my fingers and using my muscles to test. I'm picking up energy and using a pendulum to do so. So muscle testing basically taps into the wisdom, the innate wisdom in the body via the nervous system, which is the conductor of messages throughout the body. And you can basically ask the body questions and get yes, no answers. And that can lead to, depending on how you craft it, you can test pretty much anything. If you can come up with a statement or a question, when you're using a pendulum, you can use statements or you can have questions, and basically you're going to get positive or negative responses to your inquiries or your statements. So you're going to test truths versus falsehoods. And it's very, very scary how accurate this actually is. And it can truly be life-changing. So it doesn't diagnose, treat, or cure. I have to tell people that. But it can give you insights. It can help identify what's resonating with imbalance. Where's stress coming from? What can we use to support the body to bring it back into balance? What tools? There's so many things that we can do holistically, naturally, to aid the body. So we give it the tools it needs to, so that it can rebalance, it can heal itself. So that is the whole purpose behind what I do. So in a nutshell, that's kind of muscle testing in a brief little overview. Let's dive in here. So I've got the first kitty up on my page is actually Lou. So Tabitha's baby boy, and bear with me. I'm going to switch screens here. Share my screen. Let's see. Share screen. And give me a second, because I've got to go in. Chrome has lost permission to capture your screen. Fix it. Oh, isn't that just great? Of course it does it right now. Hang on one quick second. I don't want to go to system preferences. No, I don't want to leave the site. Open. Nope. Well, we may not be able to share the screen because Chrome is not being very kind. So, that being said, I'll do my best here. Give me a second. You know what I'm going to do, guys? Let me pause this, and I'm going to hop on to another browser. If you guys give me a second, and we're going to switch modalities here. Oh, I think maybe I got it. Oh, that's right. Thank you, Tabitha. Lou is a girl, and it's spelled Lu. That is correct. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to attempt this one more time. I'm going to go into a share screen. Sorry, guys. I hate technology sometimes. You know what I mean? Window. It's a window. And we're going to try this again. Well, may not be sharing the screen. Anywho, let's do. Let me see if I can share. It's a Chrome thing, and of course, it's going to interrupt my flow here. So give me a second. I'm going to see if I can get. Well, shoot. Live broadcast, that's what you get. I don't think I'm gonna be able to show you the cute pictures. Darn it. Okay. You know what I will do? No, I'm not gonna switch the broadcast. I don't want to mess everything up. Okay, so I'm just gonna have to describe to you what I'm seeing and these beautiful kitties that we're gonna work on tonight. The first one is Lou, and Lou is a beautiful black panther with green eyes, and she's absolutely gorgeous. Okay, well, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to breed. So she says Lou had a seizure last Friday that lasted 2 minutes, and the blood work came back normal. I haven't seen any seizures since. So, yes, that is very disconcerting. And I'm going to be popping back and forth so I can see your comments. So, maybe that's not the right one. Okay. Hey, Laura Lee. I was going to ask you, Tabitha, I think Lou is indoor only. Is that correct? If you could confirm that for me. Because I'm wondering if maybe it was just like he got exposed to a toxin or something. So I wanted to kind of get a reference or a framework. And if I know you feed really, really clean food and you're super sensitive to all of that. So I wanted to just get your, okay, yeah, she's indoor only. Have you had anything like a new cleaning product, I don't know, anything recent that's in the house? I know you're constantly doing like all these amazing DIY projects. You're like Martha Stewart on steroids. I love it. So I wasn't sure if anything new may have come into the house that maybe he had come in contact, or maybe you're not even aware he may have come in contact with. That would kind of give me a reference point to start with as far as looking around stuff. So I know there's a little bit of a delay, so I'm just going to sit here for a second and wait for you to respond. Of anything new in the environment, furniture, bedding, anything like that. That's what I really wanted to get a little bit more information for first. Okay. She says nothing new. She's known to be a trash picker, so I checked everything, didn't find anything. Okay. All right. So, given that, okay, I'm using my little pendulum here, and I've got her picture in front of me. So I'm just going to basically ask a few questions with her. Okay, so the source of, we want to find out the root cause of the seizure. So was it an environmental toxin of some kind? I'm getting yes. Was it environmental? Was it a petrochemical of some kind? No. Was it an environmental chemical of some kind? Yes. And now I'm going to pull out my trusty little list and just kind of go through some options because I've got a lot of options. So let's see here. So was it some kind of environmental chemical? I'm getting a yes. Was there one specific thing? Yes. Give me a second, guys. Okay. This is going to sound a little strange, but do you happen to wear Crocs or shoes or anything of that type of material? The reason I ask is because EVA, which is ethylene vinyl acetate, resonates, and it's like the composition that they make with Crocs. It's like that texture, that type of spongy, if you call it spongy type of shoe material. And that has come up before in another cat that I worked on. Believe it or not, he likes to eat them. He likes to eat the shoes that are made of EVA. And it is a toxic chemical. So I would go through anything in your house, shoes, closet, whatever. You just never know. They find stuff to lick, bite. I mean, it doesn't even have to be Crocs necessarily. It can be anything made out of EVA. And I'm sure if you were to Google EVA ethylene vinyl acetate online and just like, what is it? What are the uses? What kind of things do they make out of it? You're probably going to get some good ideas to go through and just look and just see, oh, it might ring a bell, something that you've used or brought in or something. But that's basically what's resonating as the cause of that. So now that I kind of have an idea, even though we don't know specifically, that's resonating as a cause, and it is toxic. Let's see, what can we do to support or help his body eliminate with some sort of a chemical detox? Yes. So does he need lymphatic support? No. Milk thistle? Yes. Let's support the liver because it is like the first line of defense, filtering the blood and the toxins from the blood so that it can move out of the body. And then using something that would bind that chemical. I love the Global Healing's Heavy Metal and Chemical Cleanse because it's literally a drop and it doesn't taste bad. And I think you may have some. So, because I think when we did his rabies detox, we may have used that, if I'm not mistaken. So, milk thistle and something for chemical cleanse, chemical detox. And then I'm thinking, I'm seeing the word 3 weeks. 3 weeks. So 3 weeks for liver and 6 weeks. No, not for chemical. Liver, milk thistle, 3 weeks. 5 weeks. 5 weeks for chemical. Just do it once a day for 5 weeks. Yes, I thought you did. So 1 drop a day, 5 weeks for chemical cleanse. And milk thistle, let's do twice a day for 3 weeks. Okay. Let's just get it out of him because you don't want that stuff in him. Okay. So that's what I would do. That's what I would start with. What was the liver support? Milk thistle. Just a milk thistle. They make tinctures, powders. Pick something that works for you that's easy to get in him. You can add it to some food if he'll take it that way. So that's what I would do. Detox it. So we don't want those chemicals settling in the tissues. They can go to the brain, and then you get the neurological issues like the Um, she hates that stuff. Yeah, it's not. Um, Milk thistle is a very strong, potent herb, and it's got so many great properties. If you have a powder form, some cats it's easier to get into. Mix it with some baby food, or like the fussy cats purees, squeeze ups, churu, whatever it is. Even if you have to use a whole tablespoon of the puree or whatever. Um, so yeah, you would just need to be creative in somehow getting it in her. Um, some something that she really really likes. So that would be my best support or advice for that. Okay. um Sorry, Phoenix 55. I say he again? My bad. It's a girl. Yes, I know it's a girl. Sweet Lou. Okay. um all right, my next cat. What do you want, Gunner? He's crying. Okay, so my next kitty is going to be Scrat, and Christine submitted him. I'm going to read you, but she sent a long paragraph, so I'm just going to kind of paraphrase a little bit. When they found Scrat, there wasn't an infection, but she noticed her ear fur was really long, and the infection started in her ear when she was really young. She thinks it's yeast because it itches. She's putting drop in the ear and it helps, but it hasn't healed. It smells terrible, and she has discharge, which flies when she shakes her head. Yeah, that you're describing yeast for sure. So I'm going to describe to you guys. Um, she is another little black panther. So I can't see her eyes because they're closed, but she looks solid black and she looks all fuzzy. She's so cute. So I am going to bump over here. Just check comments real quick. Okay, so Scrat. Does yeast resonate? Yes. So we know it's in the ears. We need to address is there candida in the gut? We need to address the gut. Okay. When the gut has an overgrowth of candida or yeast, it's going to come out somewhere, and it typically would come out in the ears. Some cats show it through the skin, but skin is in the ears. So let's address the gut. And first of all, Candida albicans 30C is a homeopathic remedy that you can use for candida overgrowth. I know some of you on here have used that before. It's super easy. And I'm going to type in the comments what the name is. 30C. Wherever they sell, well, let me clarify that. I carry Candida albicans because it's not very common to find in your natural health food stores that sell homeopathy or natural grocers, because it's not as common. So I do carry that at shop.purrrfectlyholistic.com, but you can find it online pretty easily if you just do a search for that. Let me go back over here to Sweet Pea sleeping. So Scrat. So we need to address the cause of the yeast. We know, well, I know it's gut imbalance, and she's had it for a really long time. So we need to heal the gut. Okay. We need to address the root cause. So typically, I don't know about typically. I'm just going to say in many cases, food is coming to my head. So food is probably the cause. It can, like a food sensitivity. Is there one protein? Are there two proteins? It's chicken. I'm seeing chicken. Can you tell me if she eats a lot of chicken? Chicken is in everything. I know it's really hard to avoid. So it's probably because of a food sensitivity to chicken that you have this not bacterial, candida overgrowth of yeast, basically. So we need to stop the cause, which is a food, and I'm pretty sure it's chicken. We need to heal the gut. So along with the candida, to clear out the candida, let's see, we need, what about Aspulardi? Aspulardi, Saccharomyces boulardii is a great non-fermenting yeast, like probiotic, that helps gobble up all the yucky, unhealthy gut flora in an effort to repopulate and bring that good flora back into balance. So I'm seeing 2 months in my head, twice a day, Saccharomyces boulardii. You can buy it online. You can typically find it wherever supplements, health food stores, health food sections. The brand that I like is by Jarrow, and it's Saccharomyces boulardii with MOS, plus MOS. I'm going to write that over here in the comments. Saccharomyces boulardii plus MOS by Jarrow. See if you can get that. And it's basically an 1/8 of a capsule twice a day for 2 months. And then I would stop that and go to like a specific probiotic. I love the new ones for cats. There's Felix's Flora by Adored Beast is a brand new cat specific, species appropriate probiotic for cats. And then also Feline Essential makes a cat probiotic. So I would look at doing that after 2 months. Let's bring it let's rebalance the gut flora a little bit. Put something in there that gobbles up the nasty stuff, and then we'll repopulate with more healthy stuff. So candida, yes. Check for chicken. If she's on chicken, see if you can eliminate chicken from the diet, because we've got to stop the cause. It's like, how do I explain? If you're in a rowboat and there's a hole in the boat and you're out rowing the boat and you're, scooping out the water at the same time, but you don't plug the hole, you're going to sink. So we've got to stop putting chicken in that's causing the problem. So stop the chicken, use a different protein for probably, I'm seeing 2 to 3 months in my head, just to give her body time to clear all of that out. If you wanted to do some energy work with me, we can clear chicken as a stressor and rebalance the whole digestive system issue energetically to help like speed up the healing process. So that would be my best recommendation for Scrat. And let me just see if there was anything else on here that I needed to check or that was related to her. If you have some colloidal silver or Oxycat that you can put in the ear, you can put it on like a cotton ball and just wipe it through, wipe it around every day, just kind of clean that out. That's obviously going to make smell better to keep it cleaned out. But the Candida albicans will clear up that yeast infection going on. So that is my best recommendations for Scrat. Okay, so we are going to move on to Oliver. So Lynn submitted Oliver, and I'll tell you what he looks like in just a second. Okay, he is an 18-year-old ragdoll, and he's beautiful. They noticed a change in his meow over the past year. It became louder and louder. And his current problem started with a respiratory infection that was treated with antibiotics. And let's see, he got better, but then got worse. So number one, that tells me it was the wrong antibiotic, didn't address the bacteria. Indicated he was, so they took him back to the vet. They said he was healthy according to blood work, with the exception of this problem. So then she says they indicated that since his cold and breathing was only on one side of the nose, it was most likely a polyp or tumor. And they said there was nothing he could do as he's 18 years old, too old for surgery. So they took him home, started treating him with a couple remedies, and then it got a little better until a heavy rain came. That tells me it's probably some environmental sensitivities that contributing to the issue. They had him checked by another vet, couldn't find any growths that would signal cancer. He lost a lot of weight, and I'm guessing some of that could be because he couldn't smell if he's not eating as much. They suspect hyperthyroidism, although he's gained back a couple pounds eating so much, so that's good. While he is much better, his eye continues to weep a rusty red. I think they tried a remedy for the weeping, but it didn't get better. So I am making a couple notes here. And just so that you guys are just for time purposes, try to kind of limit your focus to one thing. This is getting multiple, and it takes a lot more time. Okay, so we've got eyes. We've got the meow. You suspect thyroid because he's lost weight and he's crying. He has some of those hyperthyroid symptoms. You've changed his diet, so that's good. So improved his food. He's starting eating wet food. Chicken is all he will eat. He continues to eat mostly wet food. Some dry food can a day. He drinks a lot of water. Okay, so let me see here. I'm going to go in. So he is a beautiful rag doll with multicolors. He almost looks like his eyes are like a darker color, almost like a mask, with this beautiful little white bridge on his nose, and his face down below is white, and his ears have a beautiful black tip, and he's got this magnificent tuft of fur under his chest and around his, I call it his mane. It's all white. He's beautiful and blue eyes. So let's start by, okay, I'm coming over here, Lynn, all related. We'll find out. Okay, so let's see here. First of all, do any glands resonate with him? Yes. Does thyroid resonate? Yes. So there is an imbalance with thyroid, and that does match the symptoms of the meow, 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 getting loud. It does match the weight loss. I can't remember if drinking more is also related to thyroid. It could be. It's good that he's gaining a little bit of weight, so that's awesome. Now, let's see. Do any viruses resonate with him? I'm getting a yes. Is there one virus that resonates with him? Yes. Is a herpes virus. And this would match the eyes, the weeping. It would explain why he is so sensitive to seasonal weather changes, environmental sensitivities. I see that a lot with cats who have a weakened immune system. It's harder for them to just keep up with those kind of changes. So thyroid, I would definitely get him on some thyroid support. If not, have his thyroid tested just to see where you are on that scale. And sometimes it's important for you guys to understand sometimes things can resonate energetically before they actually show up on blood work. So even if it doesn't show up as out of range on a blood panel, it doesn't mean that something isn't already starting to change and moving in that direction. So just providing some support for the thyroid would be awesome. And there's great supplements out there for that. Herpes virus, if he's not on something like lysine would be good. It's not necessarily my first, like, best choice. I'm seeing reishi mushrooms in my head, and reishi is testing very well. It's great for our immune system, for boosting the immune system. Um, I can't diagnose polyp, cortex. Sinuses do resonate in this whole area, and that's not uncommon if you have a cat who struggles with viral issues. Are environmental sensitivities resonating? Yes. And right now, are there trees? Are there weeds? Are there mold spores? Mold spores. This is the season when all of the plant material starts to decay and die in the soil. And so we have this abundance of mold spores in the air. And even if your cat doesn't go outside, those particles do get into your home because of the HVAC system with the fresh airflow. So that could be why he may show sensitivities seasonally, and mold spores definitely are resonating as a stressor to immune system. There's a remedy called Natrum muraticum. We call it Natmur, Natmur, and it's testing really well for this. It helps open the sinuses. It helps control the symptoms related to herpes. And let's see if euphrasia does not. So that's why that one didn't work. So I would get him on some antiviral support, like Vira X by Feline Essential is awesome. And some immune support like reishi. And then I'm seeing liver. Got to support the liver. So let's get him on some milk thistle. Actually, let me double check one more thing. Yeah, milk thistle. Milk thistle would be great for support and a thyroid support. So that's kind of where I'm thinking with right now. So I'm coming back over here to comments. So Tabitha says, yeah, Natmur is great for people too with allergies. It is if you've got congestion with allergies and sneezing. Natmur is your remedy. It's awesome. So okay. So Jenny says, I reviewed an air purifier that is great, supposedly great for mold. It's the Air Doctor. There's a lot of really good purifiers out there, but even with the best purifiers, if you have a compromised immune system, it's just great to support it the best you can. So Bayla says, what is the best brand of milk thistle? Milk thistle. You know what? I'm not going to say there's one best brand. There's a lot of really good companies out there that make great milk thistle products. You just have to look for something that's like NASC certified. That is like a third party. What do you call they have to verification, approval, stamp of approval. They go through independent testing and labs, and they meet all these really good criteria. So somebody who's done their homework and gets their ingredients third-party tested for purity and quality and things like that. NASC on the label is a really good thing to look for. So Lynn says, we have an ozone generating air filter. It removes the dust. Yeah, and that's awesome. I would definitely say, definitely use that. Use your air filters. Some of our worst air pollution is actually in our homes because we just don't get enough of that fresh airflow. So yeah, we have to use those air filters for sure. And let me just go back over here one more time and just make sure I just got everything. If you can get him off the dry food, it's going to really help. I mean, put him on as wet, freeze-dried, raw, anything as close to that as you can, because the dry food does metabolize as sugar, and sugar is inflammatory, and then you are contributing to the inflammatory processes in the body instead of supporting the immune system. So get him off the dry food, and just, if you have to, feed him 3 or 4 meals, small meals a day, and help him put on weight that his body can actually use, because dry is primarily carbohydrate, and cats don't have any biological need for that, and their bodies just can't utilize those calories. Coming over here, get him off the dry food. He is a very picky eater. We tried to get him off it. He lost weight, would not eat. It sounds like, Lynn, you have what I call a kibble addict or a sugar addict. Let me check. Does sugar resonate as a stressor? Yes. Opioid receptor site resonates. So you've got a sugar addict here. If you work with me, we can get him off that energy work to cut that energetic, I call it a cord, between the brain and the kibble, which is sugar, and clear that as a stressor to his taste buds and his gustatory centers. Does he have a block to wet? No, thank goodness. So it's going to make that transition so much easier, and he'll be more open. And you know what? There might be specific proteins that he's just not crazy about, or he turns his nose up to. So we can explore lots of options. And clearing stressors to taste buds is like removing that hurdle in front of you to get him to eat something that you need him to eat versus what he wants to eat that's not so good for him. So I'm coming tell her about Charlie. Charlie was a kibble addict, right? He was very picky. Jenny, to remind me, did he have a block to wet food too? Or no, I think you were feeding him wet. But yeah, I mean, I see it every day. Cats who just, they put their paw up and go, nope, I'm not eating that wet stuff. So yeah, I can help you with the pickiness. So it's amazing. Let's see here if there was anything else I wanted to be sure to cover before I move on. So just for time's sake. Yeah. So overall, get him on the wet food, try the nat myrrh, get him tested for thyroid, and put him on some type of thyroid support. There's some great herbal stuff for cats out there, some great products. I've even had a cat with thyroid issues. And you know what else contributes to hyperthyroidism is the BPA in canned food. So it is another reason. That and fish. So fish has natural occurring histamine and a natural occurring BPA, especially your larger fish, not your tiny fish like your sardines or your mackerel, herring, little fish. But your bigger fish definitely have more toxins, heavy metals, larger amounts of histamine, and naturally occurring BPA. So if you can get them off of fish and get them off of canned food, you are going to eliminate the sources of some of those causes. So that would be my recommendation as well. And any kind of endocrine disruptor, in our homes can also be a source of thyroid stress and an endocrine system stress. So yeah, we can work together. We can do a little deeper dive on all of that. Okay, so my next kitty is Angus, and Sally submitted Angus. And I'm going to go down here and read about little Angus. Let me see here. So Angus is biting for seemingly no reason. Angus is also, it looks like he's a rag doll. He's more of a creamy white, gray, beautiful blue eyes, like a gray face with gray points on his ears. And he is resonating with biting for no apparent reason. So I love these challenging, these kind of questions, because it's never what you think. So my intuition says this is an emotional thing. So let's first rule out, is there a physical condition, underlying health reason, condition that you are biting? And I'm getting a no. Is this an emotional block? Yeah, emotional block. And um, Sally, you didn't say if there were other pets in the home. I don't have much of a context for it, but I'm wondering if it's something you are doing. So let's find out. Are there people or pets in the home that are stressors for you at this time? Yes. Are these pets? Are these people? People. Okay. Is it one person? Is it Sally? It's Sally. Okay, so Sally, you are coming up as a stressor, which is why he's biting. So, this is where you have to go do a little digging, unless I were to get into like specific emotion testing, which we don't have time to do. I would find out, sit back and just observe, when does it happen? What are the circumstances that he's biting? Is he biting to get your attention? Sometimes our cats pick up on our energies. If we are stressed, if we're irritable, if we're angry, anything that would kind of resemble snapping or biting emotionally, because we can feel that way sometimes. So I would say, look at your own energy, your own emotions, and then ask yourself, is it possible he's picking this up from you? And if that doesn't resonate on any level, then you have to figure out, what is it about you that's making him upset? Is it that he needs more playtime? Does he need some emotional clearing? I'm getting a yes. Does he need more play? Does he need more stimulation? No. Does he want something? He wants something. Does he want food? Does he want attention? He wants attention. And this is, if we were doing a session together, I could ask you all these questions, but he wants something. He wants your attention. Let me see if there's anything else that kind of comes to mind. Yeah, I can't pick up anything else right now. If I had a little bit more context, I could probably do so. Was there an event or a circumstance? No. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what else to kind of pinpoint as far as this goes. But it has to do something with you and getting your attention. He's trying to get your attention. So, something else that just popped in my head is to do an animal communication session where the communicator can be that go-between, and you could submit some questions, specific questions, and they can have a conversation with him and say, sometimes they have a message for you, and it can come through via a communicator. So that would be a really, really good thing to consider. It's an amazing experience if you've never done it before. And in the meantime, is there any like color therapy? No. Herbs, crystals? No. This is about you and emotions, and he wants your attention because it's something related to something he needs from you or wants to share with you. So I know that's a little woo-woo. So that's my recommendation, but it's an emotional thing. I do a lot of work energetically with emotions and clearing emotional blocks, clearing mixes of emotions that we can find through a whole systematic a process called mind, body, spirit release. And it can identify triggers. It can identify things that are stuck in, emotional things that are stuck in us and in our pets, and bring those to the surface, clear that energetic block, and release it all. So that might be another thing that you could consider doing for Sweet Boy. Okay, so I have one more kitty to go, and it is Stephanie's kitty. And I'm sorry, Stephanie, I didn't see the name. If you replied back to me on Instagram, haven't checked it since I sent that. So I am looking for Stephanie's, her beautiful orange kitty. And let's see here. Okay, she says he's taking steroids to treat IBD and now has developed constipation. I'm not sure what food or supplements would be appropriate with his medication. And he is in orange and white. Probably, he looks like mostly white, but he's got orange ears and he's got this little white nose up to his like point on his head, and he's got orange all down his back, and he's got beautiful, looks like green eyes, and these cute little dots, like little dots on his nose. So he's really cute. I'm going to come over here to look at you guys' comments and see if you guys have anything else that you can share. What's his name? Nemo. Okay. Nemo. That's a cute name. Okay. So let me come back over here to Mr. Nemo. And he's got this IBD issue. Okay. If you haven't seen the radio show that I did on dissecting IBD in cats, you've got to go watch that, because we deep dived specifically on root causes of IBD, best supplements, best diets, all the things related to IBD and getting your cat from IBD to healthy. So I highly recommend going back and watching that. And I also wrote a blog about it. So everything is in writing in front of you. So if you go to purrrfectlyholistic.com and you look at the blog and you type in IBD, you're going to find that article, IBD in Cats. I would go look at that because it's going to give you a lot of information. I'm not a fan of steroids with cats with IBD because it just masks the symptoms, and we need to address the root cause. So I am curious to know what the root cause of Nemo's IBD is. Is the root cause parasite? Nope. Is the root cause food? Food. Is the root cause chemical exposure? Is the root cause a vaccine? Nope. Is it steroid use? No, it's food. So, and I would say 9 times out of 10 in the cases that I've seen, food is the root cause of IBD. So we've got to work on the right diet. So getting him on fresh, raw diet is my best advice. It would make a world of difference if you can transition to that for him. If we want to stop all the sugar, any dry food, again, I can help with that. So diet is number 1. We got to reduce inflammation in the gut, and part of that is diet. There are amazing herbs that you can use, and something like the bitter herbs. I know Animal Essentials has one called colon cleanse. I want to say, no, maybe it's not colon cleanse. Maybe it's gut health. I think it's gut health. They have a gut health. Mercola has GI support for pets. Alternatively, you could use things like licorice roots. You can use nettle. You can use slippery elm, marshmallow root. These are awesome, awesome herbs, and they make supplements that have a lot of these combined ingredients together that help soothe the inflammation, that help heal the intestines. There's a product called Ion Gut Support that tests really, really well for him, and it seals the tight junctions because we've got to heal the gut. We've got to seal the tight junctions in the intestinal lining that tend to open up when those things get weak from processed diets, chemicals, things like that. So we've got to stop putting the toxins into the body that cause that. We've got to seal it back up. So probiotics help repopulate the healthy gut flora. Let me come back over here and look at your question. Food or supplements. Okay. Ideally, you get him on the right diet. You provide his body the right support through supplementation. You don't need those supplements anymore because we address the root cause and the inflammation goes away. His digestive system balances. And if necessary, depending on symptoms, we can try some homeopathy. It would really depend specifically on symptoms. So let me come back over here and see what questions you have. Yeah, I have worked a lot with IBD cats. Some had food as the root cause, some had parasites as the root cause. And let me tell you, it's not an easy road, but the sooner you start it, the better off he'll be. So, and you just have to be patient. You're going to have some good days and some not so good days. So, so Bayla wants to know, is tap water an issue with IBD? Does tap water resonate? Nope, that's not coming up. So yeah, there's a lot. I would look at the radio show. It's on my YouTube channel, and we did it. I want to say February. I think it was February or March of this year. Check the article. You'll have lots of good information there and links and things like that. So that would be my best guess, unless I did a specific, consultation analysis for him. We could deep dive specifically on what resonates and protocols and how much and all that, and I can help you transition him off, not so good food to really, really, really good food to give his body the tools that he needs. So yeah. Does anybody have any other final questions? Those were the 5 that we're going to do tonight. And then we're going to be doing it again next month. So if you didn't get in tonight, we just had a lot of entries. So I can only pick so many. So anyway, okay. So Stephanie says he had been throwing up 3 or more times a week until I started the steroids. And, a lot of times the food, it goes back to the food. If depending on what you're feeding, it could be food sensitivity. If he's eating wet food, chronic food sensitivity, well, okay, it doesn't have to be the wrong brand. It could be the wrong protein. Sometimes we forget that chicken is chicken is chicken. It doesn't matter if brand A makes it, brand B makes it, brand C makes it. It's probably the protein, and we need to figure out why that particular protein is a stressor for him. Sometimes it's linked to emotional stuff. Sometimes it's imprinted, and it's just constantly like this ruminating in the body that's like, and over time, it just irritates that whole GI system, and then they can't tolerate it anymore. So switch the proteins. You're going to have to do a really good deep dive on the back of the labels of your pet food and look, because even if chicken isn't the first ingredient, it might be the 5th or the 6th ingredient. So switching things to a totally different protein and making sure that his gut flora is healthy to be able to digest that new protein. So it may take 2 or 3 days with some good probiotics mixed in there to get his gut ready to be able to digest that before you start a new thing. You got to look at those kind of things. Homeopathy can be great for vomiting and things like that. We just got to figure out what the root cause specifically, if it's food. Let me ask one other question. So vomiting, We know it's a food stress. So let's see if there's a specific protein. Is there one protein? Are there two proteins? Chicken. Chicken is coming up. That doesn't surprise me. Is a fish? No. Is beef? Is turkey? Is duck? Does he eat duck and chicken? Lamb, venison, pork, duck. Duck resonates. Turkey, chicken, chicken. Chicken and duck are coming up. So, oh, he's had sensitivity to chicken, turkey, beef, fish, lamb. Okay, you know what that tells me? There's a serious gut imbalance if a cat cannot eat biologically what they're designed to eat. So we could really do a lot of good work together. It's not normal for them not to be able to eat all those proteins. So we need to clear some food stress. We need to clear some blocks. And he does get duck right now. Rabbit is the only thing left. You don't have to throw in the towel. He would be able to eat those proteins again. I guarantee you. We just have to clear them as stressors and then give his body some tools so that he can start eating those again, because those are naturally good for him. So yeah, duck. There's probably, well, I'm going to say there's always an emotional component. So there's definitely emotional blocks to clear. I'm asking a couple more questions. Any chemicals? No. Environmental or emotions? Emotions? Definitely some emotional blocks here too. So yeah, we could do a lot of good work together. All right. So yeah, and you got to look at things like thickeners. Sometimes it's not necessarily the protein. It could be the thickener. It could be the carrageenan. It could be the agar-agar. It could be xanthan gum. Some cats who have IBD issues are so sensitive to the thickeners and the food additives in the wet food, which is another good reason why we want to transition to freeze-dried and raw, because they don't have any of that stuff. It's just organ, meat, bones, maybe some whole food ingredients to provide vitamins and minerals and things like that. And there you go. It's everything that their body can utilize. So with that being said, we are at the top of the hour. If there's any other questions, we'll take that before we wrap up. But I really appreciate you guys being here tonight. I hope this was helpful. Bayless says, do stressors in the life of the chicken, factory farms, send hormones into the meat of the chicken that end up in the cat foods? Of course, the way our food is treated before they become food makes a huge difference in their chemical makeup. Absolutely. Again, it goes back to sourcing and where you're buying your cat food, what quality it is, if it's rendered, if it's human grade. It all matters. It most definitely does. Okay. Yes. So yeah, what the duck was fed has to be considered. Yeah. It absolutely makes a difference. How those animals were treated. Were they in factory farms? Did they grow up happy on a ranch, free range, running around being like a normal animal? I mean, we got to think about all those things because it makes a difference. So, okay. Well, if you guys have more questions, you want to do some work with me one-on-one, you can reach me at pam@purrrfectlyholistic.com. Check out the website shop.purrrfectlyholistic.com. Under services, under cat health, there is an optimal cat health analysis. It is a deep dive energetically using muscle testing with a lot of charts that I go through to just check every kind of stressor that there could potentially be, including emotional blocks. and we clear those energetically. I give you a written document basically with specific recommendations, protocols, products, instructions, everything. It's like a roadmap. Um, so that is where I would start. And until next time, I appreciate all of you. Have a great rest of your night, and we will see you online soon. Thanks. Bye, y'all.